to recognize Ms. Demings, a gentlelady from Florida, who has a fellow Floridian on the panel for 5 minutes. Ms. Demings?
Let me say good morning to all of you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Ranking Member, for this very important discussion. Thank you to all of the witnesses for being here, but it is good to have a fellow Floridian on the panel as well. So thank you very much. As a former police executive, I'm always interested in new technologies that can help to keep the public safe, help to keep law enforcement safe, and improve the delivery of police service. And we know that we have work to do in all of those areas. It was a decade ago that we were testing body cameras at the Orlando Police Department. And while we weren't really sure of the road ahead, I do know that the public was very excited about that possibility. Certainly, it is one of the recommendations that's coming to the forefront now. And so we should always seek technologies that will enable us to better do our jobs. Dr. Alexander, you said that technology has long outpaced attempts to govern it. And I think that is such a powerful statement, because not only does it appear that the use of facial recognition outpaced our ability to govern it, we see that with other technologies as well. But Dr. Alexander, you talked about some best practices until we can find ourselves at a point where we can keep up, if that will ever happen through regulation and other things. Could you just expound a little bit on some of those best practices?
Well, I think it, and thank you very much, Congresswoman Demings. I think it's very important for us to recognize that technology does move along very quickly. And if we think about the development and the implementation of technology over the last 10, 15, 20 years, or even last 5 years, it oftentimes outpaces us as human beings. We're not prepared oftentimes for the unintended consequences that comes with the technology that we're all utilizing every day in our lives. So yes, we have to develop best practices. And what are some of those best practices? I think we can really only clearly define once we make some determination about the real legitimacy of this facial recognition technology. Look, it can be innocently used with our cell phones just to open it up and conduct our personal business. But when it comes to the constitutional right of American citizens across this country, regardless of where they are and what neighborhoods they're in, that becomes more problematic. Can we use it as an investigative tool? You know as well as I do, Congresswoman, oftentimes we might embark upon an investigation where we have zero leads. But maybe we have a piece of this facial recognition that suggests, could that be Cedric Alexander? What we can't do is what happened to Mr. Williams. We can look, well, let's look into the background of Cedric Alexander a little further. Let's explore some other things that we did not maybe even think about, even had a suspect at all or person of interest. But the problem even lies there, as I've already stated, is that sometimes we can identify an individual that may be a likely person of interest or suspect. But if our own implicit biases get in the way, it will overwhelm the entire investigation, and it leads us down this dark path of where now we're really doing injury and hurt to people. But here's the bigger thing I would mention to all of you in Congress is that as we go through this place in America right now around police reform, one thing we do not need is a piece of technology that is going to continue to drive a separation between police and community. People want good police. We all want great technology. The idea around this technology really is it's great, it's well founded, but it has to become more accurate. It has to have the type of legitimacy, trust in this technology that is needed in order for the American people to feel like it's not going to infringe upon the rights and hurt people in any type of way. I sit on a National Innocence Project board, and I understand the importance of DNA technology and how it's used to free individuals, quite frankly, who should never have been incarcerated, like Mr. Williams. But we have to do a better job in advancing this technology, but understanding that sometimes the technology moves along faster than we do as human beings, because we still got a lot catching up to do around many of the social challenges we have in our great nation. So I hope in some kind of small way that addressed your question, Congresswoman.
It did. Thank you so much again. Thank you to all of our witnesses. And with that, I yield back, Madam Chair.
Ladies' time, thank you very much.